You know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm seeing a pattern here, aren't you? And that pattern actually begs a question that is actually quite fucking scary. And that is, what is going to happen next year with Treyarch's title? What exactly, how in the world are we going to get shafted next year? And if you look at everything that happened from Black Ops 4 all the way to this game, Modern Warfare, there's some sort of pattern going on. And if you've been paying attention, you could probably see it. And it really does beg the scary-ass question of what the fuck is going to happen next year. You've got lies and deception. You got the fact that, well, money matters above everything else. So people, at this point, they don't even give a fuck if they basically go like this to the community and saying, fuck your thoughts. We know about the game more than you do. We know about what you like more than you do. Yeah, so we don't care. So, deception, lies, blocking people on Twitter. I mean, as a Call of Duty fan myself, and like some of the rest of us, and some of you that may be watching this video, you know, we can all sit back and pray that one day we're going to get that perfect Call of Duty that we've always wanted. That's, you can grind for every weapon. The game will launch with 25 maps at launch. We've got good hit detection, no skill-based matchmaking, good score streaks, all shit like that. All the best parts of every single COD in the last 10 years all rolled up into one perfect game that could, oh hell, maybe it could be free to play, and all the microtransactions can be cosmetic, and everything that you could, if there were microtransactions, weapons, you could grind them, but if you didn't want to grind, you'd have to pay for them or something like that. I mean, shit. I mean, we could all sit back and pray for that shit, just like I could sit back and pray, oh, I wish I had a bigger penis than Korean Savage, but that shit ain't true. I wish I was more alpha than the alpha male himself, 8 Thoughts, the Call of Duty athlete, but no. Am I more alpha than that? No. I wish I was as good as Optic Scump or PwnStars.com. No, that ain't gonna happen. I can't just sit back and pray and hope for that to happen. The only way that could happen is, well, quite frankly, a miracle, some plastic surgery, and a shit ton more videos like this from myself and other members of the community voicing their displeasure, and a shit ton of prayers, because the fact remains that, well, money is the only thing that talks, unfortunately. And this is the problem that Call of Duty has. But without further ado, let's get into the video. As always, uncut, uncircumcised, uncensored, and here we go. Alright guys, now let's talk about this. Now, one of the first things that I noticed after a lot of the things that are going on with Modern Warfare recently, now obviously you guys know that I don't play the game. If I did, I'd be posting it because, well, it's the current Call of Duty, but thankfully you guys have been very supportive despite the fact that I'm not posting Modern Warfare gameplay, but I will talk about it, and I will continue to talk about it, and even if that means continue to roasting the game, I will continue to do so, because, well, the first step to solving a problem is to admit that there is one, or to start talking about it, or both, quite frankly. They're both the same thing. So I will continue doing it with my style, with my way, and I am going to add in my own special sauce to it. So for those of you guys that can handle it, that's great. Let's join in on the conversation. For those of you that can't, I apologize, but I do not apologize. So let's get into it. So the first major thing that I noticed is that with Modern Warfare, with the old maps, some of the old maps that they brought back into it, it's no surprise that they're not exactly the same as they were before. They've been changed. Some of them have changed slightly in size, and there have been some additions to those maps added in. So you know what that tells me? That tells me if maps are bad, or if maps have too many buildings, or if they have too many doors, or if they have this, or if they have that, or if they're too big, or if they're too small, or whatever the deal is, they can be fixed. Now, I've always said over the last few videos, like, once you make a bad map, that's it. You can't go back. I mean, a bad map is a bad map. You just got to make better new ones that are better, right? Well, that doesn't seem to be exactly the case, because what they've seemed to do with Modern Warfare is add in extra hiding spots, extra head glitches, and extra doors into the old maps that are from, what, Modern Warfare 2 or whatever it is, or whichever other ones that they're going to bring back. So it's basically been customized to fit what they're trying to do with Modern Warfare. They want you to play a certain way, obviously, so they're building the map to basically accommodate that style of play. Pretty much how, let's say, this game
Obviously with this game, they had to build the walls in a sense so that way you can utilize wall running, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because of the advanced movement and such. Okay. But again, you could still play boots on the ground if you wanted to. Granted, it was more balanced, a little bit more balanced in Black Ops 3 than it was in this game. With this game, you could go a little bit crazier with the advanced movement, but not that you couldn't in Black Ops 3, but in Black Ops 3, the pacing was just a little bit different, and you could very well do well on boots on the ground. That's one of the reasons why Black Ops 3 was actually praised by a majority of the community, because it didn't matter which way you played. You didn't feel like you were forced to play anyway, which is why Black Ops 3 was such a success, and it was a very well very well received Call of Duty game because of the way it played, and it didn't really favor any sort of style, which Modern Warfare unfortunately is making that mistake. So with the maps, that really caught my attention. And the thing is this, these are the facts, guys. It's all about money, and I'll say it time and time again. It is all about money, and it's gotten so bad at this point that they are lying to our faces more than ever. You know how they always try to sugarcoat their lies or hide their lies, but right now they're basically just being open about it, and they've come out, so to speak, and they said, yeah, we're dicks, and if you don't like it, too bad. This is the way we design our game to be. We know better than you do. We know what you like better than you do, so therefore we're going to make it this way, and we're not going to fix the minimap. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. Every single time we update something, we're going to secretly put in something else. And the community is discovering all this. The community is not stupid. Now, granted, there are a whole bunch of people that buy microtransactions that keep things going to a certain degree that they shouldn't, because they don't work nearly as hard for it. You've got some free-to-play games out there that work way harder than Call of Duty does to appease their audience, and they listen to their fan base and they get shit done, and then they end up being successful. Wham bam. So, there's really no excuse, especially for a AAA title that's going to take 60% of your dollars at the very least. And then at the same time, there's also a battle pass or microtransactions. Now, granted, it's this flavor apparently, from everything I've seen, seems to be better than it was in Black Ops 4, which is good. Don't get me wrong, which is good. But again, we're not even in the holiday season yet, and we're still in the very beginning of this life cycle, and things could happen. And the biggest thing that leads me into this commentary is that what is going to happen after this game? Because there's no secret that a lot of people are voicing their displeasure about this game. There's no secret that people are being blocked on Twitter by the developers or the community managers. There's no secret that Reddit posts are being deleted. All that shit is no secret now. And you've got all these people that have looked in the PC files of the beta or the PC files of the full game or whatever it is, and they're discovering things time and time again. You've got updates coming out by the developers that need consistent tweaking and updating, because it seems like they're very inconsistent in the way they're presenting their updates. They're either doing that on purpose or they're incompetent. Part of me wishes to believe that they're, that they know what they're doing, so they're probably doing it on purpose. Hell, if they're lying on purpose, or, in terms of, the whole quote unquote overhaul, if they're lying about it, or if they're misleading us or deceiving us on purpose or to hide for something else, then you know where I'm going with this. It could easily be copied and pasted into different aspects of the game. The only difference this time between the years prior to this is that it's being a lot more done in the open. And the reason is because, well, who gives a damn as long as we keep getting our fucking money? And that is the sad part of all. That is the main disease that is killing our game, quite frankly. Our community's game, which is Call of Duty. It's both a gift and a curse at the same time. Money can make great things happen. At the same time, money can cause the biggest disasters. And that is the problem that we're having right now. So the thing is, no matter what we say as a community, if this game makes more money, not just in sales, but in microtransactions than the previous games, there's nothing that we can say or that we can do, or what we say or do will have a very minimal effect compared to the minimal effect that the loss of money would have. So, because that's the way the cookie crumbles, and as it's been said time and time again, these guys at Activision, they're legally obligated to make as much money as possible for their shareholders. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. That's just the way it works. So, that's, when you think about it, it really makes you think, like, what's going to happen next year with Treyarch? What are they going to pull out of their asses? I guarantee you that they're figuring out this formula already. If not, they probably have figured it out already, and everything is being put into place. Because we have less than a year now until the release of the next game. One thing is for sure, we're definitely going to have campaign. And one of the biggest things that Black Ops 4, a lot of people were bitching at when it comes to Black Ops 4, is that the lack of campaign. So Modern Warfare comes out and the campaign was really good, other than the fact that it was really short from everything that I've seen, read, and heard. So in this aspect, if this pattern continues to happen this way, then we should hopefully at least get a good multiplayer. I don't know what's going to happen with the campaign, except the fact that I know that we'll have one. Zombies, I have no idea. Battle Royale, no disrespect to Battle Royale, but I hope it doesn't exist for Call of Duty in this new iteration, because we all know what happened with Blackout. The multiplayer kind of took a back step. Granted, after the game's life cycle, it seems like the multiplayer is continuing to get supported, which is excellent in terms of Black Ops 4. But the thing is, it's pretty safe to say that the multiplayer itself did suffer, simply because Blackout was obviously important for many reasons. And the reasons are because they wanted to attract a wider audience to the Call of Duty franchise. And they did it by implementing Blackout, because that's where the money is in Battle Royale. Look at how much Fortnite's made. Look at how popular Apex Legends is, etc., etc., etc. So Battle Royale is a moneymaker. So they had to implement their own, and at the same time, they had to attract players from a different genre into the game. And I think this is why, I guess the rumor is that Battle Royale will be a thing later on, like in a few months down the line. That'll be, I guess, its own separate entity, I guess. But the thing is that I think in terms of design, when they were coming up with the design for this game, again, I'm not making excuses for them at all. But in terms of game design, in terms of how the game is played compared to how Call of Duty was played in previous iterations, well, they just by the game's design and how it plays, it's like they're trying to attract a different fan base, kind of like what Battlefield did with Battlefield Hardline. They tried to make a Call of Duty version of Battlefield, and I do remember Battlefield fans being really pissed off about it. So I guess this is what's happening with Call of Duty with Modern Warfare in this iteration. They're making a Battlefield or a hybrid shooter, Battlefield, Rainbow Six, Call of Duty hybrid shooter, to appease and attract a different audience or a wider audience to come and play the game. Because if a certain percentage of us is gone, for instance, to where the player base, which we don't exactly know what the player base number is, right, in terms of how many people are playing. We used to in previous iterations of the game, but ever since, I don't know, after Ghosts, it's like we don't know. We simply don't know. Ever since Advanced Warfare, we really don't know. So Ghost was the last game to have a player count. We don't know how many people are playing, but all we know is that those numbers must be a lot lower if they're hiding it. And at the same time, they are doing whatever they have to do to draw those numbers in, and they don't care where those numbers come from. They don't care. Just like the developers don't care what the fuck we think, as long as there are a certain number of people playing the game, buying the microtransactions, and around we go. And that's it, guys. That's all I got for this one, man. That's all I got. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. And for those of you guys that are continuing to play the game, I hope you're having fun with it. Some of you guys are barely holding on by a thread from everything that you've been telling me in the comment section and or on Twitter. So again, there's plenty of Call of Duties left to play besides Modern Warfare. And what are your hopes and your thoughts when it comes to Treyarch and the next iteration? Let me know down in the comment section. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I could do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.